Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. It is with a sad heart that we're here to announce the death of a truly visionary guy in the heavy metal community who passed away last night. Jonny Zazula, otherwise known, or Jon Zazula, otherwise known as Jonny Z, founder of Megaforce Records, died last night at the age of 69. Born in 1952. He passes away February 1st, 2022, just shy of his 70th birthday. Known as not only the founder of Megaforce Records, also the guy who pretty much discovered Metallica, who gave artists such as, Anthrax and Overkill and King's X and Fraley's Comet, the Disco Biscuits, Fozzy, Ministry, gave all these bands their first big break. Also, he and his late wife, Marcia, who also passed away last year, right? So they basically passed away like a year from each other. Set up an amazing store called Rock and Roll Heaven in New Jersey, which, back in the day was a big deal. It's a big deal if you were like a heavy metal fan. And, in the early 80s, man, heavy metal was just, hard rock and metal was just starting to pick up steam big time. You had the new wave of British heavy metal, which was just getting big. And you had this kind of underground movement happening here in the States, which, later became like thrash metal. Just bursting all over the place. And, you had the whole tape trading thing, right? Johnny Z and Brian Slagle and Ron Quintana and all these folks who were trading tapes and putting together these compilations, all these great young bands. It was a great time to be a young metalhead back in the early 80s. And, Jonny and Marcia had a lot to do with that. Megaforce Records, like I said, launching the careers of so many great young bands. I remember I only got to meet Jonny and Marcia a couple of times because after they had the Rock and Roll Heaven store open for a few years, and again, just a great place to go to find all this underground stuff, and the bands would go hang out there, right? They decided to open up a little shop in my neck of the woods, right, in Orange County, New York, in the Hudson Valley, in a little town out on the far end of Orange County, just near the New Jersey border. And they called it Rock and Roll Heaven North. I remember it was like on a little side street corner, right? You come into town, you make a little left after the light, and it was on the second floor of this little corner building, right? You walk up the stairs, and there you're in there. And I remember, a friend of mine was like, "Oh, I saw an ad in the paper. There's this new, heavy metal record shop in Warwick. You want to go check it out?" I'm like, "All right, cool. Rock and Roll Heaven North of New Jersey, right?" I remember the first time walking in there, and there's all these guys with long hair, and some with not so long hair, and the vests, the battle vests, and the leather jackets. And I remember it was in the middle of the winter, and walking in there, and there they are, Jonny and Marcia, right? They greet you as soon as you walk in. "Hey guys, where are you from?" You had the thick Jersey accents. "Where are you from?" "Ah, I'm from Goshen." "Oh, you're from Middletown." "Oh, yeah, cool. Wow, you've got all sorts of stuff here, And I remember hearing over the speakers as we're walking in this kind of cool, moody song with this interesting, acoustic guitar. And then all of a sudden, the song starts getting heavier. And I'm like, who is this? I absolutely love this. And Jonny looks at me, he goes, "It's the brand new album from Metallica, Ride the Lightning. Just got it in stock." And I was like, "Metallica? That's that band that," I had a couple buddies who bought Kill 'Em All when it came out. And they're like, "Oh, so that's Metallica." And I remember never listening to it. So the cover of Kill 'Em All, I was like, looks a little extreme for me. I'm still listening to my Black Sabbath and Judas Priest and Deep Purple and Iron Maiden stuff, right? And so, he's playing the rest of this album, Ride the Lightning. And it just, from Fade to Black, that's the song that was playing, going into all the other songs, I was hooked. I was like, holy shit, this is great. Bought it on the spot. And, in successive months there, I would go trickle in there every couple of weeks, buy a record or two. He had all sorts of other bands. If I remember correctly, I think Metallica made it in store there. Raven was there. You had guys from Anthrax and Overkill and Megadeth. I mean, everybody kind of made appearances at both stores. And all of a sudden, like, Rock and Roll Heaven North became this really cool little place in this tiny little town that had nothing else, right? And just gave me an excuse to go to Warwick, New York, on a semi-regular basis. But you blinked and they closed the shop down because this was and still is it's a town that's out of the way, and a very specialized shop like this just not going to do business. So he didn't keep that store open for too long. But I have fond memories of going there, and he had all the cool shit on the wall, all the albums, the LPs plastered all over the place, pins and patches and posters and all sorts of cool stuff. This was early 80s, right? I mean, just an amazing time to be a young 16, 17-year-old metalhead, right? And so he had lots to do in the business over the years, but in more recent years, it's kind of taken a step back. But a guy who really helped spearhead this early 80s heavy metal movement here in the States, and just a really important guy that I did want to just say a few things about. Like I say, it was always really cool to me as a kid. Going into his store back in the day, never got to know him past that, like in more later years since I've been working here in the music industry. But Jon Zazula, Jonny Z, very important guy. May he rest in peace as he leaves us at age 69 here in early February 2022. So please put in your thoughts on Jonny Z down in the comments below. He and his wife are back together again. And it is a sad day for U.S. heavy metal today with the passing of Jonny Z. Go out and listen to all your old Megaforce albums again, and just remember this guy who did so much to so many bands, and us, the fans, as well. So Jonny Z, rest in peace, leaves us at age 69, February 1st, 2022. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Take care, everybody. Jonny, we miss you. See you real soon. Bye-bye.